It's the same as any play, really. Obviously, you read the story, you get to know what the characters' dilemmas are, what their fears are, what their desires are, what they want. But then there's the other element of you only have one person on stage to create a whole world for an audience. And that's quite a big thing, but I think it's a great challenge. So I suppose it's really about knowing that it's the purest form of storytelling that you can get, and really taking that on and just trying to, as much as possible, tell the story and honour the story, but find ways of making it more interesting. So the audience will be there with you for the whole duration. So it's about paying attention to the variation of it, of the tone and the rhythm and the pace and the staging. So yeah, it's a different challenge. There were 2 stages. The first one was back in June, and we did a rehearsal over 5 days, so it was very intense. And by that point, we hadn't worked together. So we'd known each other, we talked about the kind of work that we did and what we liked. So I suppose that was quite a challenge at the time, of getting to know each other. But over 5 days, it was great, because we were just able to be really honest with each other about what was working, what we were really excited about, and what didn't work, because you have to, you've only got 5 days. So I think we've worked very openly, and we've communicated well. And then now for the second half, again, it will be over a small, intense period. So it was really just about experimenting with ideas, talking about what it is about, but generally Lisa just doing different things and trying to make the play as best as it can be. I think it has. I mean, it's hard to say how exactly now, because we're right in the heat of rehearsal, and I think things like that become clear when things die down. But I think the one thing that has really challenged my own preconception, really, is how the character in the play is portrayed physically as well. Because in the media, we tend to see images of people recovering from drugs or on drugs, and physically, especially women, they look very decrepit and worn out and very thin, and probably a few teeth missing. So that's probably as a result of crack or heroin or whatever. But in this play, the character isn't necessarily on those types of drugs. So it means that her condition or her issue is not so easy to actually pinpoint. And I think that's quite reflective of true life as well, because sometimes a lot of people who are on drugs or who are recovering, you can't really look at them and say what the problem is straight away. The themes in the play are very universal. So for example, the idea of not being able to fulfill your dreams. So the character goes back home, and she realises that a lot of the ambitions that she set out to do, she hasn't fulfilled. And there's that worry that she never will. So I think a lot of people will be able to relate to that in some way on their own life journey. And also there's a lot of humour and warmth in the piece and in the character as well. And I think that's what makes it real as well. The fact that the story is based on real people, I think that will add something to it, and I think it does really connect the audience to the piece in a very deep level. I hope that the audience will go away feeling that they've been challenged in some way, either their preconceptions about people who are recovering from drugs, or the idea of it never being too late to achieve what you want to achieve. because I think it's a very uplifting piece. The final message is one of hope and determination. And I hope that it will encourage people to realise that even though this play maybe does centre around someone who is recovering from drugs, their own need to fulfil their goals is very important, and hopefully she will inspire other people to be determined like her and fulfil their own goals.